So I will ask Heather and Hadi to start enabling your view. You may receive a little message that says, please enable your video. And you can do this if you wish, you don't have to. And please enable your audio so we can ask questions. So we already are starting to see some of us. And I will start unmuting all of you as well. Let's take a little bit of time.
I don't want to start my video yet. Oh.
It won't let us start our video.
So to start your video, we will give you a little permission. Yeah. We just did right now. So now you can have permission to start the video. This becomes relevant because we wouldn't want to, we still want to have this sense of solitude. So watching the video during the retreat is not recommended. But there will be one session during the day. We will turn all our videos together and we will close our eyes and meditate with the eyes closed, even though the videos will be on. So the evening together. Hi, everyone.
Bye.
Very good to see all of you.
Good.
Hi, Rosanna.
Hello. Martin. Oh, miss you. Oh.
So exciting.
So good to see some of you. Very nice. Very good.
Oh, so nice. Sarah. Oh, I will cry. Oh.
Very nice. So it seems like almost everyone has the audio on. Maybe some of you may choose not to turn your audio on. This is up to you, or maybe you joined later. Anyway, during the retreat, everyone will have the audio off, except for myself. So this is a good kind of test. But for now, we may want to somehow communicate or ask any questions during this meeting right now, just to clarify any details or anything that is not yet clear. And since we have only 46 of us, since there's only 46 of us, and we see someone by phone as well who has joined, maybe we can still say hello to each other, and just to say our name and where we are joining from. So maybe let's start like this, as other people are still joining. So again, my name is Cloud. Claudio Vaduva is the full name. And I will be leading this retreat. I'm so happy to see so many faces. And maybe we can have Heather and Hadi present yourselves again. You are on mute.
Hi again. I'm Heather. It's so nice to see all of you.
Hello.
Familiar faces. And
Hey everyone, I'm Hadi. So nice to see also so many known faces and unknown faces, and I see you smiling, knowing, and faces. Hi everyone.
Hi.
And would all of you want to simply just turn your audio on for just a second and say your name and where you are from or where you are right now, actually. It'd be wonderful to hear this. Even if we all talk in the same time, it's okay.
I'm
Hi, I'm
Andrew.
Mary Lou
This is
from
Mari.
Vancouver.
I'm in
Hi,
Washington,
Leah.
D.C.
Jane from live from actually.
Hi, we're in
Hello.
Langevin.
Hello, I'm
Mehmet. Hi,
Hosanna.
I'm Laura.
Brazil, to São Paulo.
Hi, Mike in Oaxaca.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mulder.
It's amazing to see
Everybody.
everyone.
Yes. Oh.
Wow, Rosanna, I love you.
I love you, Carol, Sarah, Martin, everyone. Heather. Oh,
Sarah.
Remember these voices. Remember these voices. They will always be with you in your heart.
Yes, always.
And all of them will be happening in the same time, like right now. Because this is how it is. We will be meditating together, but also there will be a subtle connection that we will have mentally and emotionally. You will see that many of the questions they will be somehow asked simultaneously. The process emotionality will be the same for everyone else. Similar. So now I want to ask you any questions before the presentation. I'm going to use all of you. So I muted all of you, but some sounds are still coming through a little. And now that I muted all of you, you still have the permission to unmute yourself. But I was wondering if you have any questions. I think you have the possibility to raise your hand virtually with the software. I'm not sure if this is a possibility for you. No? Yes, there are some hands raised. Very good. So let's see if there are any questions about anything which you have seen in the introduction video or anything that you might want to ask now or to clarify. Then Hadi and Heather and myself can answer for you before we do a little introduction about what the retreat is. And then we'll have other questions at that time as well. So if you have a question, I see Brian, you raised your hand. Do you want to unmute yourself and ask?
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Brian here from Florida. In the booklet, the schedule showed the afternoon meditation ending a little bit before it begins. The times were backwards. And I was wondering what time the afternoon meditation really ends, or the duration.
The afternoon session will be from 3:30 Mazunte time, and you'll be for 2.5 hours. So you'll be from 3:30 until 6.
Okay.
So
thank you.
On the East Coast, this will be from 4:30 until 4. After that, we'll have a 1-hour break for dinner.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. And I see Amanda also has a question for the hand is up.
Hi. I was just wondering, in the intro videos on YouTube,
there were some introductory yoga classes, but they were all in Spanish, and I was just wondering if English subtitles could be put on them, so that those who don't speak Spanish could understand the intro videos that were in there.
Yes, when I just looked right now, I also noticed that the playlist also had the English ones as well.
Well, it had the English for 2 intro, but then there's other ones that are just like explaining yoga poses, and they're only in Spanish.
So for the Spanish retreat, the teachers were more enthusiastic, so they
Okay.
the videos a little bit more. For the English retreat, we simply introduced what we normally introduce in the retreat, which is the warm-up exercises, maybe a little bit of Dhyana Bandha. If there are any questions about the asanas during the retreat, you just write a question either to the coordinator or to myself, and I can demonstrate them during the Hatha Yoga class more, or I can answer them in the evening. So we will be able to sort things in this way.
Okay, thank you.
But if you think it's also a good idea to have some introduction of asanas for future retreats, that maybe that might be helpful, then maybe that would be a good idea to do as well. Thank you for your question. And I see another hand from nobody else.
Can you see my hand? Hello, can you hear me or see my hand?
Yes, I see a
Hi.
Hi from Cindy. I'm going to talk to panelist Cindy right now because you came a little bit later. So we have a little bit of a different way of doing things. Cindy?
I'm Carmen. I'm not sure if you're talking to me or somebody else. I think you said Cindy, but I'm Carmen.
Okay, hi Carmen.
That's okay. Hi, I'm in Wisconsin. I have a question. I signed up for the 3-day and I'm kind of confused because I keep getting links to the 10-day. Am I in the wrong spot, or is this all together like 3 days, 10 days, and then I just stop at 3 days, or?
This is one which is for both 3 days and the 10 days. Okay. And it's a good question. This is how we usually run it also at the centers. And we will run the 3-day retreat. At the end of the 3-day, we will have a kind of sharing in the evening, which is outside of the 10-day retreat. The 10-day retreaters will not participate in the sharing because, again, we're going to turn the videos on and you're going to break Mauna, the silence. And we will share a little bit how the retreat was, which would be very beautiful. You can also continue after this. Every morning, there will still be a 2-hour session, which will be posted live, I believe, either on Facebook or on YouTube. We wanted to do it on YouTube, but that information somehow will should be available on the website, and then I can make more announcements about this. So it'd be nice if you wanted to join every morning. There'll still be maybe a little teachings or just 2 hours meditation, and you can still continue if you wish in that way.
That's great. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have Kenza as well. Do you want to unmute yourself and ask a question?
Hi everyone, I'm Kenza. I have a question not related to the guidelines of the retreat. It's more, it has to do with one of the questions that was in the registration form, which was asking whether one is pregnant or not, which I am. I'm 3 months pregnant, and I wanted to know whether there is any inconvenience for doing this retreat.
Just to be aware, with some of the yoga postures, 3 months is already very good. For many of the yoga postures, it's very good for the pregnancy. Meditations and the lectures won't disturb the baby, should only support. For the yoga postures, I will keep a note to mention I will keep a note to mention, by the way, congratulations as well. But I will keep a note to mention if a yoga posture might not be beneficial for pregnancy. But in general, just so you know, anything that has to do with twisting the tummy area or to overstretching it in one direction or the other, I would not do so much. Some of the postures you can do just halfway and they'll still be very, very beneficial. At 3 months pregnancy, even many of the postures where you even bend forward the belly could be okay, kind of like strengthening and lengthening the spine, can be very good, can be very supportive. But I will have a review about this for myself. When you go in the later trimesters, there are more restrictions.
Right.
And I will make a mention, but in general, I wouldn't go full on into all of them. Of course, if it's about stretching the arms or lengthening the arms or stretching sideways, this is fine. About stretching the legs, so kind of like hip opening, this is actually very, very beneficial. But as soon as you start twisting the torso or bending the torso, there I will take more care and I will just enter very gently.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you.
And I see also, I think maybe Adrienne, did you answer or was that somebody else? Adrienne?
No, yeah, I had a question.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. I'm Adrienne, and I'm in Mexico City. My question was kind of funny. I have a dog. What are the recommendations and guidelines around interacting with pets during this time?
Well, from my perspective, I think it's very beautiful to have the companion around. I would say to not speak, so to still maintain mauna and connect somehow with the pet, whether it's the fish, the dog, the parrot, the cat, or little ant, in silence and in a kind of present awareness, looking each other's eyes and caressing, it's okay. You may even notice that even with the pet, there might be some conditioning of wanting to anthropomorphize the dog, like it's a human, but indeed the dogs, they do have emotions, they do have thoughts. It's wonderful to witness your own personality and ego, this dimension of your being. Because with the pet, with humans, our ego get polarized in a very particular way. You see when you listen to my lectures, then some things you will agree with, some things you won't agree, and then there will be some internal movements that will happen psychologically. Whereas with an animal, they are in a different resonance altogether, so they can just be love. You know, just this love and this connection and this compassion and this understanding. So it can be very, very, very beautiful in this way. But just to maintain mauna, and if you even try when you look at the dog to not think, to not internally think thoughts or have a conversation like, oh, cutie, putie, patootie, or whatever, but just remain in that silent present and watch and love whatever the pet is. Dull your heart and take care and feed and everything. It's okay. You can join the meditation and the Hatha Yoga. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. Are there any more questions?
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear? Okay. Yeah, actually, I have 3 questions. Yeah, can you hear okay?
Yes, I can hear okay. This is Angel.
Yeah, sorry. This is
Yes.
Angel from Brazil, but I live in the Cayman Islands. So I'm here in the Cayman Islands now. Yeah. So one question would be, so the morning activities start at 8 in the morning and finish at noon. So do we suppose fast in the morning because we should not eat it before meditation? So should we fast the morning and just have a meal starting at noon? What would you suggest?
The way we decided to do this, it was to have a little bit of something small in the morning. It's actually okay to have a little bit of breakfast in the morning. Something little before meditation is not recommended. So I would have in the morning maybe a glass of, depends also how much your fire is. Some people have like a very powerful digestion and they can eat a full breakfast and half an hour later they can do complete hatha yoga. Others are a little bit slow. So of course I would never recommend to eat a full breakfast and do hatha yoga half an hour afterwards. But I recommend to have something, a tiny little bit is recommended for the time zones where the classes start at 8, at 9, or later, yes? If they start a little bit earlier, so if they start at 7, then we will finish at 12:30, and we can resist this long. We have classes which are this long, and because we will be in Hatha Yoga, then during the Hatha Yoga, also somehow the hunger kind of goes away. Sorry, I think I made a mistake. I think if we start at 7, we will finish at 11:30. Yes, 11:30, so this should be fine. I remember when I was practicing yoga, I would start at 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 8 in the morning, and finish by 12 or 1 and not eat. And this would be also very good because during the Hatha Yoga, the energy runs differently and can be very powerful. So, but if you start at 8, at 9, at 10, I will have something before. So on the East Coast, depending on your digestion, maybe a glass of almond milk, something that has a little bit of maybe a cookie. So it all depends on how fiery your digestion is and to pay attention to it every day. And you see that already after 2 hours and 15 minutes, the body will be ready for Hatha Yoga. For the meditation, it wouldn't be a concern. I wouldn't eat a big breakfast because that will make you very sleepy. Yes, but something light like an egg, a toast. If you're vegan, a little bit of peanut butter, almond butter on the toast, or something, a glass of milk, a tea, some cookies, whatever you feel can keep you until the time when lunch will come. Yes.
Okay, another question. So I'm doing the diet number 7 during the retreat, so starting tomorrow. And that's the first time I'm gonna do the diet. I done the retreats before. I know what to expect it. So I actually did last year. And this is not the first time I'm doing silent retreats. So I know what to expect from the retreats, but I do not know what to expect from the diet. So I'm vegan, vegetarian, so I don't eat that heavy, but I'm gonna be doing the diet, did all my research to start it. But when I'm on a diet, I won't have anybody else to ask beside you guys. So I just want to know if all the 3 of you have done before and could help me if I have any trouble during like day 5, day 6. Because now I can just go online and talk to someone that already done, but now I'm gonna cut all the Wi-Fi. So like I need to go someone.
Yes, both Hadi and Heather can help you with this. So probably you will communicate with them about these things. But if there are general questions about how does a diet affect, for example, or I'm doing a diet and this affects my meditation this particular way or my concentration, then those questions would be directed towards me. But the more technical questions about the diet, they can answer. They have done this many, many times. We all have done it many times, so we can support you. In general, we don't recommend so much diet during retreats for the first time, but if you've done retreats before, then it's okay to try. And also we don't recommend to do the diet for the first time during a retreat, because usually when you add many things together, then some psychological states appear. So you don't know, for example, you're longing for something very tasty other than just eating rice. Will this cause a disturbance in the mind because you want something related to the taste, or because the meditation is not going well, or because a lecture touched you in a specific way? So how do you separate the two? And this is where you won't be able to know precisely unless you have had some experience, or you have done the diet before, then you knew exactly what to expect. So then you can start having some discernment and this kind of things. But it's fine. You've done the retreat before, you can give it a try. The worst case, you'll be asked maybe to stop and then try it afterwards. So yes, give it a try. You have call support. Allow.
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea because I'm home, and when I'm physically on a retreat, it's I eat whatever I serve. When I'm home, I don't want my mind to go away from the retreat and like, what is for lunch or what is for dinner? And I do love cooking, and I think if I'm free to cook whatever I want to cook, my mind's gonna go away from the retreat and it's gonna really go just about, because I'm probably gonna fast in the morning with starting at 8. So by the time we're finishing Hatha Yoga, already like I can't wait for food. So eating just rice, I'm not gonna have that problem. So it's gonna be like, yeah, I'm not looking forward to eat. I just need to eat. So that's, I think that's the way I'm seeing right now. It's just like, I think you're gonna bring more focus actually. Last question I have, so that's my friend Rio and Tammy, so they all doing only 3 days.
Hello.
And so if we decided to be together on the same meditation area that we're gonna build here, can we just have one login on a computer, or for any record they have to log in as well?
No, it is fine. It's just, of course, if you're more in solitude, then this would be, there's a different taste, but it's also very beautiful to all share the same screen. Try to not look at each other, to not gesture to each other. So try to make a plan even tonight on how to be very, very independent, because if you were together, then let's say one of you may enter in a mood or in a contemplation or something that they want to remain there without being bothered, and then you have all these programs that you are doing together. You should wash dishes, you should put a plate, you should, if you're by yourself, then no one will disturb you, so you can stay like this till 3 and skip lunch and just choose to meditate or contemplate or cry or whatever might come up. So you need to speak about these things and respect each other's space and to allow each one to be as they are. Yes? Does this make sense? Yeah. So to make these rules, but then if you have space to still be alone and to respect each other and not to gesture, not to write notes as much as possible, definitely not to speak, then to organize things to happen kind of like in silence and to have your own space, this could be very powerful and beautiful. And also you can even purify something between you as friends or partners, however the connection is, which could be very beautiful. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Also, I wanted to mention to Hadi and to Heather, I don't know if you are aware, but some attendees are still coming in from time to time, and to keep an eye on that, to promote them to panelists. And there are many chats which are going on, which maybe you want to answer if you already haven't started to, and to address this. Thank you, Angel, and the rest.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. We have Wei. So yes, Wei, if you want to unmute yourself.
Hey, Claudio. Hey, everyone. I'm Wei, dialing in from New York City. 2 quick questions. Yes. So the time that it starts in Eastern Standard Time will be 9 o'clock for us. So if I wake up early, I actually do have some time in the morning. my question is it advisable for me to do any form of a physical exercise before the retreat starts? What I mean is like a light jog around the house or push-ups or whatnot. And the second question is, I have read that it is not recommended to do any readings during the meditation. However, how about writing either in the morning or during the end of the day, writing reflections or whatnot? Is it recommended as well?
Yes. So writing is very recommended because it be a form of journaling and processing certain things that are happening here in the area of the mind. Usually the thoughts are not very graspable or tangible. And then suddenly we are putting it on a piece of paper. It's a way of stepping away a little bit from the thoughts. And you contemplate it. Sometimes even just writing a sentence is sufficient to become so detached from it that an insight may arrive. So journaling is recommended, not during meditation, because during the meditation we want to maintain a kind of, we can say, a loyalty to the meditation, a determination to come back to the beingness. The mind can distract us and say, I have a great idea, let me quickly write it down. My video is off, so no one will know. But here I would recommend to really taste the self-inquiry is to let everything go. There'll be a lot of creativity that will appear, and to just try to go deeper in meditation as it is and let the brilliant ideas come back again if they were to come back in the break, and you can write them down. Reading in deep, we wouldn't recommend. You can read the pamphlet if you want to print it out with the rules to remind you what to do and what not to do. Yes, jogging or exercise before the meditation, yes, this is perfectly okay to do a routine exercise, to do hatha yoga. If you have some tapas, which is a program that you take for yourself to do specific yogic exercises regularly, so you can do your tapas in the morning if it starts a little bit later. It actually supports the meditation. So if you were to do a kind of smooth, relaxing kind of exercise right before the meditation, you notice that the mind and the body will be more centered and the meditation will go more profound. If you use an agitated kind of exercise, then the mind might become stopped because of the big effort, but then it may be nice for a while, the endorphins will come, but then an agitation might come. So always try to match your physical exercise with the mood of retreat. So if you run, then try to run in a balanced, centered, present kind of way, you know? So kind of rhythmic and very balanced. If you do exercise like this, so not agitated, not without being present, and usually maintaining a centeredness and a presence during all of these things, it should support. For the retreats in general that we do when we are all together in one of the centers, we give in the evening during the dinner. It's a dinner and self-exercise hour as well. So you may choose to do 15-20 minutes of exercise after the afternoon meditation, or continue meditating and then eat dinner for 20 minutes and then join the session again or for 30 minutes. So we left that space there. Expressing yourself through your body, it's also okay, but I would stay away maybe from instruments, playing musical instruments. For now, give it a try, and from maybe painting. And so you can make retreats with these things as well, but just keep writing. And then if there's something that needs to be expressed physically, this can be done, including an exercise. So I hope that this answered the question. Okay, thank you. And let's see Golnar, you have a question as well, if you want to unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Golnar from Toronto. My question is with regards to eye contact. So I know that one of the recommendations is to not make eye contact. And I was just curious, during the meditations, should I be looking away from the screen, or should I look down, for example, at your shirt? Or is it okay to look at you while you're speaking?
During the retreat, you can choose any way you wish. During the retreat, we do have the students, they do watch the teacher, but I myself tend to not watch the students. So if we were together in the hall, then I may look kind of like this, kind of like in space, and I wouldn't look you directly in the eye. If I were to look at the camera right now, maybe that might feel a bit more personal and more connected. It's a very good question. I haven't yet contemplated about this. Yes, it's definitely okay for you to look at me because sometimes I speak with the hands and facial expressions. So I recommend this. I will have to contemplate by tomorrow morning and make a decision whether for me to look directly at the camera or not. So from tomorrow, you'll know. Yes?
Thank you.
So I'll contemplate it a little bit. Thank you. It's a good question. Thank you. Okay. Are there any more questions? And did you get familiar with Zoom? I hope yes.
There's a question in the Q&A box for the teacher, so for you.
Yes. How does this meditation differ from Vipassana meditation? Maybe this will be revealed more during the retreat. I wouldn't enter in answering more too profoundly this question right now. Vipassana means inside, and it has two elements, the concentration and the awareness, but recognizing, training the mind to somehow be concentrated, it is something very important and necessary. Developing the awareness of the awareness, it's also another element which is very, very relevant. However, the Vipassana itself, which means insight, it is a kind of recognition. It is that aspect of awakening, to recognize something. So we are all right now very much aware, and we can do exercises of concentration. I can concentrate on an object by staring at it. I can concentrate on a feeling by re-evoking it. And we can be aware of the awareness in which somehow the concentration happens, in which the thoughts happens, in which the mind itself can observe. We will enter in these elements during the retreat meditation. However, the Vipassana also means insight. So insight is a kind of awakening to understanding what is the significance of this. What does it mean? And ultimately, all meditations, whether it's Vipassana, Dzogchen, Mahamudra, self-inquiry, they all have to end in the same place. So somehow the source of all meditation and the final resting of all meditations will come to the same recognition. And yes, I would say Vipassana ultimately will be about this remaining in an openness to recognition. Now you may ask, what is the difference between this and the Goenka Vipassana training, where they are scanning the body and they are becoming aware of certain movements, and which is just a different approach and a technique, which leads eventually from mental concentration to awareness and to this insight. But all genuine spiritual meditation or tradition need to necessarily lead to the same recognition, to the same depth, to the same essence. So let's ask this question later in the retreat. Maybe already by tomorrow morning, we can address self-inquiry meditation and concentration of the mind. And we'll see if we can answer these questions with some of the topics which we already have discussed. I hope this is sufficient. We have also a question from Scott. Yes, Scott.
Hello, Claude, and hello, everybody. I'm speaking from San Diego, California. So, Claude, I have two questions, please. You mentioned that if we have any questions during the retreat, we can contact Heather or Hadi. And I think you said to email them, but is there a way to contact you or the facilitators through Zoom so that we don't have to go into email?
Yes, I actually, if I said email, then I apologize. This is maybe the words came out. I always meant through Zoom. So in your Zoom, if you look on the bottom of your screen, you have a Q&A. And in that little Q&A, there you can ask a question. And you can start the question for the coordinator, or you can start the question for the teacher. Still, the coordinator may choose to take that question and send it to me and say, actually, this is a worthy question to ask for the entire group. You can send this question anonymously, but if you send a question to the coordinator that should be answered back to you specifically, you'd be good to keep your name. No one else will see this question because most of the times you'll be as an attendee, so you won't see each other, and to all of you, this will be a kind of something which will be hidden somehow to all of you. So it is anonymous for all of you, yes, but you can also ask anonymous question to myself, so you don't, I shouldn't know who has this question, and this is also fine. Did you have a second?
Yes, thank you for that, Claude. My other question is, I usually drink coffee in the morning. Mm-hmm. So in not drinking coffee for these days, do you recommend taking some aspirin or ibuprofen to keep headaches away, or just to do it naturally and suffer if any unpleasant feelings come?
So I take it you speak about the coffee headache, yes?
Exactly.
Yes, and they happen for you rather quickly if you stop drinking coffee?
Yeah, if I don't drink coffee in the morning, you know, I'm addicted. So I usually, well, I'll see what happens the next few days, but usually I do get a headache.
Yes, for the case of addiction, like you call it, let's call it like this, where there would actually be a physical repercussion to the body, I wouldn't, I would try not to push the body. I always, so if you're just drinking coffee occasionally, or drinking coffee and you don't have like a physical reaction if you stop, then you'd be good to not drink coffee. I don't know if tea supports, tea is a bit more gentle, but if anyway there will be a reaction there, I would always recommend a compassionate, gentle approach. So make watered down coffee, try to wean yourself off of it a little bit more, like a small amount, and see by the third day maybe already something will happen. Or try not to drink it in the morning, and if the headache comes, then have like a little bit of water down. And then you be your own experiment. and see what happens in 10 days. If you choose to somehow try it, you can even try it for a little bit of time to see how tough you'll be. But I wouldn't, for example, compromise the meditation or being attentive to the lecture because there is this big headache, and just compassionate and loving. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Claude.
Claude, I have a question.
Yes.
I'm Cindy.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Claude. I have been very sick for the last several months, and I also have an injury to my neck. So I'm not going to be able to do the Hatha Yoga. I was taking a Hatha Yoga class, but I haven't been able to attend. And I'm wondering, what would you like me to do during that period of time?
So if I understand correctly, you cannot do any exercise whatsoever. So for example, raising your hand up and standing, would this be?
So I'm having pain pretty constantly in my neck. I have arthritis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite a bit older than anybody, I think, in the retreat. So I just wondered if I could go for a walk or do more meditation. What would you advise?
It would be good to do meditation during this time, and to still listen into the class. Even during your meditation, you can close your eyes and you can imagine your body doing these postures. So kind of like a visualization. So not only you'll be doing a mental concentration, but there's something that can still be transmitted, and we can still kind of be together, all of us, you know?
Okay.
So right now, if you were to, let's say, I said, let's enter in the cobra pose, you know, the one where you lay on the belly and you raise yourself. So now you can even close your eyes and imagine yourself being in the cobra pose. And then we say some words like, feel this connection to the heart. And then you can feel connection to this chest area, even though you are in a meditative posture. And this could be a very beautiful experience as well. It is said that the more advanced teachers and the teachers of yoga, the masters who are practicing Hatha Yoga, they no longer do it with just the physical body. They can just walk around among the students and emanate the various chakras and then the various qualities and already feel it. Of course, not in the physical body, but in the more subtle bodies. So I would recommend this and to be with us. If you find that some of them you can do, even for 5 seconds without disturbing anything, then even do for 5 seconds and then rest. Yes.
Okay, that's what I'll do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And if you have more questions about this, just
I'll let you know.
Send a question.
Okay.
Yes, Andrew.
Hi.
Hi.
My name's Andrew. I'm from Concord, Mass. I was wondering, do you have any guidance around interacting with natural spaces and going into natural spaces during like the breaks between the morning and afternoon or afternoon and evening sessions?
Yes. I recommend at all times to walk out in nature. So even if we have a 5-10 minute break during the meditation sessions, I recommend to go look at a plant, at an ant, at a bee, at a flower, at a tree, at the sky, at the clouds, at the grass, to take a breath of air, being in nature, and to see the vibrancy of nature. So as much nature as possible, maintaining the distancing, I guess, in the various cities or places that you are. But for all of you, if possible, without interacting with other people, I recommend a little backyard, a little plant in the house. I fully recommend this. And I often during the retreat anyway will guide you to maybe go take a look at a plant, at a flower, and to see after meditation how the vision changes a little bit. So we will be there together anyway, but yes, 100%. If you can even do the retreat in nature, outside somewhere, this would be wonderful. Yes.
Thank you.
So now, quite a bit of a time has passed, 1 hour. Did you, Heather and Hadi, wanted to add anything to the questions that I answered, or to anything else that maybe escaped what the participants have asked, or anything you can think at this moment? No. Okay. Then, in this case, I want to have a short introduction.
Yes, Cloud?
Yes.
So many participants have not received the preparation guidelines, so we will send out an email today with the schedule and these documents. So if you didn't receive it yet, just check your email later today.
Okay. Yes. And sorry about this. Yes. Any other question? Yes? No? Okay. So I would like to start with just a little bit of introduction of the retreat from a different perspective right now. For now, let's mute all of you. And if you need to ask any questions, then raise your hand. And
I have a question.
Okay.
It's not a question. It's actually just to say that I will be missing maybe 2 hours tomorrow in tomorrow's session because I host an online poetry reading group, and I need to do it tomorrow, but I'll cancel it for the next Friday. But just that for tomorrow, I'm gonna miss 2 hours in the evening. That's all. I just wanted to say that. I can't avoid it right now.
Thank you so much for checking in. And indeed, you'd be very good to send a little note to the coordinators for all of you if something come up, because they will keep an eye just to see if everybody is okay. There'll be like 2 angels floating around. So if some of you will be missing, right now we have 48 people. Maybe some may join directly tomorrow. Maybe they are missing this session right now for some reason. And they will be concerned. So we'll always be concerned about how all of you are doing. So write them a note so they know. Yes?
Who are the coordinators? Who are the coordinators? Sorry.
Simply in the Q&A, which is on the bottom of your screen, you just write a note and say for the coordinator. And do not send it anonymously. You know, just send it as you and say, this has come up, it's very important. We don't recommend missing any sessions if possible to avoid that, because there'll be a continuity to everything we discuss. But thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Now, indeed, let's close the eyes for a moment, just to be together. Let's close the eyes for a moment. And try to feel all of us in the heart. It is actually how we will meditate every evening. Throughout the entire day, we will meditate with the video off. And we will do Hatha Yoga in that way, and the lectures. But in the evening, for that last 30 minutes or 45 minutes, we will turn the videos on, and just so we can know that we are with each other. But when the videos are off, we can feel each other in the heart. You can try to imagine it, or you can try to feel a sense of openness, openness in the heart. Openness that includes other beings, like a web spread over the entire globe. And though you may be in your room alone, you feel you are not alone. There is a presence, there's an inner light, and there's a knowingness that we are together, joining in the same thing.